You know, if I'm broke, you have to like me for me. There's nothing else. I got nothing. Hello, welcome back to the podcast Evolve, and you're listening to me, Lewis, and Sam. How's it going, Sam?
Hello.
You're just Sam this week. I don't have the capacity to be creative.
Is it that bad?
It's just you're Sam.
Is it actually
You're just,
that bad?
You're
Wow.
just Sam.
I'm recognizing that my wall is brighter than my future right now. I didn't realize how bright the contrast to my camera is actual ass.
The shine on my head is not
It's
reflecting.
horrible. Oh my god!
This is 30 seconds in. It's been such a negative note, but we're gonna
happy days, guys. It's been amazing.
It's been a week, isn't it?
Yeah, positives. My beard game is stronger than ever before. Actually, it's been stronger than this, but it's growing. I'm not getting my hair cut. You know, I've not had my hair cut in a while.
Yeah, the viewers have noticed.
I wouldn't be surprised. It's been pretty bad. The trim, there is no trim. And my hair, I look so drastically different when I've had a trim. Like, I've watched some of the episodes back. I'm just like, who's this on the show? Oh, it's me. Oh, that's me.
You had such a sharp trim in an episode a few weeks ago,
bro,
and it was so fresh.
And then skip one episode, and it's just like, who's this?
I can't really sympathize because, like, obviously, I don't. It's piss for me, but like, yeah, it's just like I just don't have to sympathize. But it's like you have a week, and then you go you look homeless.
I can't, bro. It's not even like financially. It's just a stupid move for me right now having hair.
You were like season 1 fresh, and you came back looking like season 5. You've gone through shit.
Back looking like Black Hagrid. That's what I look like, and that's what I feel.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's fine because I think I'm going to get dreads.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think I'm going to commit to this bohemian lifestyle. I'm going to get dreads and disappoint my family. That's what I'm going to go for.
Nice.
But yeah, it's like the only hairstyle I haven't tried, to be fair.
Fair enough.
But I've braided it. I've relaxed it. I've done all sorts. But I haven't
Apologies to the audio listeners, but you know what? Hop onto the YouTube.
Yeah, hop onto YouTube. You see how bad the trim is.
Maybe we even start posting the videos on Spotify. Who knows? I reckon we should start doing that.
Please, I suggested that from the beginning, and you said no.
Yeah,
I think we should just do that. It adds substance.
Yeah, you know what?
It's a little bit side.
You know what? We'll do it with this one. This one's on.
Really?
There we go. Yeah. Fuck it. Why not?
Let's fucking
Why
go.
not? We're all about.
Let's
yeah,
go.
Okay, we'll do it. So episode 16. I'll make sure it's a video one. So yeah.
I feel hurt.
If you're on Spotify,
I feel heard and I feel seen.
rotate your phone. So yeah, well done.
My week has been interesting, Lewis. Somewhat interesting. So, me and Sarah went to Manchester over the weekend because I worked over my birthday, and we both worked over our anniversary because it's like an awkward time in the week. We didn't take time off. Whatever. There's loads of projects happening at my work that basically make it completely unfeasible to take any time off. And long story short, it's because I'm the only one that's not taking time off. So I'm basically the one that's keeping the bloody project alive, whilst everyone else is swanning on and off on holiday. But his way is because I'm a hero. So this weekend we went to Manchester. We booked a nice hotel, had a really good time. It was just us two, just partying, basically living our uni life again. But it's just us, you know, enjoying our time together.
Nice, man. It's cute.
Took her to Selfridges, bought her one of those welded bracelets. Have you heard of them?
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. It is. I could not wear that. That's uncomfortable. The fact that you can't take it off.
Yeah,
Freaks me out.
Yeah, Rosie mentioned that, and I was like, "That's a terrible idea."
I know. They have a
But
rig version of it. They have a rig version, and I was just like, "That's what do you mean?" And they were like, "Oh no, you could take the ring one off." And I was like, "So you basically just got a really tiny bracelet on your finger?" And they were like, "Yeah." I was like, and people buy that. I was like, "Yeah." It's like I'm getting business ideas.
Not people, women.
Yeah, true. You're right. You're right.
I'm just saying, not to sound sexist, but it's true.
It is just to be fair. Yeah, I did not see another masculine presence there other than the guy who was selling it, and he definitely did that job because he liked the girls he'd worked with. That's all he cared about. But yeah, got one of those bracelets. Got finessed at what's it called? Killian. Have you heard of the perfume brand or fragrance brand called Killian?
Killian, I don't believe so.
So Killian is this very bougie aftershave brand, right? Well, I say aftershave, it's pure perfumes. They're finessing, but like it's a very bougie brand like Beyonce, Rihanna wear Killian, right? And I'm there thinking I need to upgrade my aftershave because I wear this one Armani aftershave. I think it's Armani U or something, and I love it. I don't care about the price. It's like a good price, and I don't care. I just love the smell of it. But then Sarah's parents always get it for me for Christmas, and I've just run out of it. And I was like, maybe I should just get something that's like that, but more like grown up. Let me put a bit of money to my smell. So I went there, and they had like 50ml bottles of perfumes and aftershave for £110. So I was just like,
yeah, it's Rihanna's brand.
then so is it her brand or is it like a brand, her go-to brand, or does she own it? Because the guy there was like, oh, Rihanna likes this one.
It's reportedly what Rihanna smells like. So I don't know if it's her perfume or it's
got loads of, they've got loads of options.
Uses,
it's a brand and they've got loads of smells.
No, but yeah, you know what? Yeah, it's
so
yeah.
You say Rihanna, I went and got it for me, not for Sarah. I went and got myself a nice smell. So I'm there thinking I'm picking aftershaves, right? So I'm smelling it, I was like, oh, this isn't the same as the Armani one. Give me this one. And then they started making me feel special. I felt bougie. Credit card in. I could afford this, don't worry. I had my bonus. Let's live life. So this guy helps me. And I was like, oh, that's not it. And like by the time that he's done, I've got about 8 different samples in one hand that I'm sniffing. And then this other guy comes, I was like, okay, what about this? What about this? And then I end up having like loads of samples in the other hand.
This is the car like, all over again. I know exactly where this is going, but continue. Go on. I know what you've done. Go on.
Oh, you're right.
I know what you've done. Right. I know what you've done.
Spoiler alert, Lewis is right. I'm just going to say it. I've never told you that I know you're right. Anyway, so I go through all of them, and then like I start noticing that people are looking at me like, oh, this guy is in the... By the way, can I just say that I didn't know what Killian was until after I was done? Okay, and I learned the lesson the hard way. But I started realizing that people are looking at me like I'm special. So I felt special. So I'm enjoying myself. I end up giving me a fragrance where I'm just like, oh, that smells fucking good. I want to smell like that. Give me that. I looked at the labels, and like there was just one label that said £110 for 50ml. And then for some reason, for 100ml, it was 300. And I was like, the math ain't mathing. You get like a special bottle for the 100ml. That's why it's 300 quid. Because double 110, my maths ain't great, but it's definitely 220, not 300. I was like, it's okay. It doesn't matter, Sam. You're only getting the 50ml. You're splashing it out a little bit on yourself. I have enough money to get myself some trainers later, do a bit more shopping. Let's go. I get to the till, Lewis. One, I didn't even read the smell. It's called Good Girl. The smell was called Good Girl Gone Bad. Should have known that I was buying perfume at that point. I don't really care because it smells fucking amazing.
It's literally Rihanna's album. I think it's definitely Rihanna's.
I know. I bought perfume for myself, and I don't care because apparently some guys do it. And I'm that masculine. I'm not even scared. Anyway, so I go to pay, and I'm like, oh, 110. At least it's 110 well spent. Because Sarah's like, you need to be careful because he picked up a big box that doesn't look like. And I was just like, so I asked him, he's like, no, this is the 50ml. So I was like, okay, gang. My guy scans it through, Lewis. Did my chest jump. £260. But we'd crossed the line now. We're here. People are watching me. So I just put it in.
You can't say, oh no, put that one back. You can't do it.
We got too far now. Like, I'm not here trying to give my girl ick. But I know she saw my face. She saw my face when I leant over the counter to double check the price on the fucking item to be like, am I getting finessed? I typed my card numbers in. And the guy was basically like, oh, I put like more samples in there for you in case you want to come back. In my head, I'm like, I'm not fucking coming back. Are you crazy? I've learned my lesson. And he goes, it'd be funny because you want me to add you to the VIP list. And I was just like, with that price, that VIP list ain't free. Whoever this is, I know that VIP list ain't free. I'm fucking staying the fuck away from this. So yeah, I walked away and then I got to another till. And then whilst I was there, Sarah was like, I was like, not gonna lie, I want to know what the VIP list is now because it's not online. If you Google Killian VIP list, it doesn't exist. There's no information about this VIP list. So I was just like, literally fact check me. I'm gonna pause. You can fact check me. I couldn't find anything when I was Googling it on my phone.
Are you sure it's not like the vendor's VIP list as opposed to the perfume's VIP list?
I don't know. He just said, you want me to add you to VIP list?
It's probably for the retailer's VIP list.
No, the retailer was Killian. I was at their stall in Selfridges.
Oh.
I was at the Killian store. I wasn't in fucking Superdrug.
I thought you were like a fucking fragrance. I thought you were like a fragrance shop.
I'm not at perfumeshop.com. Like, I am at the Killian store in Selfridges getting finesse. You know what upset me more? It was cheaper online.
So my need to feel special and look special and fit in cost me more money. I paid 260 online. It's like 220 or something dumb like that. But yeah,
I know there's Selfridges VIP stuff. That probably is probably what they meant.
is that list free? Could I have been on that list?
Let me go into the.
Do you want to go into the office?
I'm going into the office.
Go into the office, find out.
Okay.
The tension. I want to know now. Hurry up, Lewis.
I feel like it's a.
Is it just a mailing list?
I feel like it's like an invitation. I know they do VIP events.
Did I miss a chance to join an invite-only list for stuff?
I don't know, but it says wait list, and I don't want to do that. I don't know. It might have been. It makes more sense that it's a Selfridges VIP list for events and stuff. That makes more sense.
We're buying another bottle. I'm going back. We're going back.
That makes more sense to me personally. I'm just saying that probably is what it.
The way he offered it to me was like, "Do you want it?" And I was just like, "No." Because what I didn't want is he goes, "Okay, that's £2,000, please," and I'm there like a bitch, like, "Okay, here's my card." So no, I just said no, and I walked away. And then he looked at me like, "Oh, what a crazy guy," which made me want it more because then it seemed like I've just missed out on a really good thing. So he really got me there. He tapped into all of my weaknesses in one sales pitch.
For the future, Sam, I think you've learned if it goes, "Oh, do you want the VIP list?" Be like, "What is the VIP?"
I should have, Lewis, but I'm not gonna lie.
But Sam, you
tried to tell myself why I bought perfume for that much for myself was a hard thing.
Sam, all these business degrees and you've learned nothing. Like you just got played. You fell for key stage 1 sale tactics, which was make them feel nice.
Oh, but he did such a good job.
They just fiddled with your ego and they just stroked it real nice and good. And you caved.
My feelings.
You caved. You caved.
My feelings. They touched the spot and I gave in. Like some weak ass yak I am.
You really did.
They gave in. Oh my god.
Just level 0 game and you were just like, "Oh, I feel nice now. I'm going to go spend because I feel nice."
Do you know how much I've been like trying to convince me it's okay? And I've done it.
No.
I've got there now and you've got me back to square one. Now I realise I'm an idiot.
No, that was fucking stupid.
It smells good though, I'm not going to lie.
You bought bad bitch perfume that you're never going to wear.
Oh no, I wear it all the time now.
What?
It's refillable as well.
What, in the past 4 days?
Yeah.
Okay.
She wore it every day.
Next week, you're never going to wear it. I'm telling you now. This is going to last a few weeks. Until you don't care about the money, until the next paycheck, you're going to wear it, and then you're going to be like, "Oh, it's fine, I've made back the money," and then you won't give a shit, and then Sarah will.
That is hands down my logic. That is literally my spending style.
Yeah.
I'll complain about it, and as soon as the money refreshes in my bank, I'm just like, "What happened yesterday?
Yeah.
What was that? What was I so upset about this time last month?"
Oh, Sam.
Hey, shut up.
All right.
I made the money. Leave me alone.
How are things business?
I saw Tyson Fury.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
I saw that. Sorry.
You see how much saw it? Yeah,
I saw that clip and I was like, I didn't know if that was like a joke or if it actually was.
No, it was genuinely him. I saw him at the petrol station because I was charging my car, and usually when me and Sarah do long journeys, I'll charge the car. We'll get snacks. We'll sit in the car. I'll get my iPad out. We watch a movie or something, or we'll just watch a short YouTube video. By the time the video is done, the car's charged. We go. So I was sat in, I think it was like a co-op station in Manchester. I didn't know he lived in Manchester, by the way. So I was just and then I went in to like get my snacks, pay. And whilst I'm literally in the queue, I look outside and I see this bald guy like filling up a Porsche. So I'm just there like, and literally I didn't my brain didn't even realize I was in public. Out loud, I'm just like, "Is that fucking Tyson Fury?" And everyone at the petrol station turned around and went, "Yeah, it is." And then we all just joined together in a conversation about him. And like as he walked in, I realized that the world is different for some people. This is why. Let me sit up because I felt like a bitch again in life. I bought my bad bee perfume. I've got 2 New Balance trainers, and the only difference is one is slightly different, one slightly darker than the other. I felt like a bougie boy after my trip to Manchester. I spent a silly amount of money, Lewis. I've looked at my credit card. I'm going to pay it back tonight. I feel silly. I spent a lot of money, but I felt like a baller.
How much did you spend? I'll bleep it out.
You better bleep it out. There's scammers out here, Lewis. There's scammers. I live life, bro. You get a bonus, innit? Leave me alone. You get a bonus. Get bonus.
My eye pulsed when you
Get
said
a bonus, bro.
in
Get
Manchester.
bonus.
In Manchester, did you buy it? Did you buy Manchester?
The Lord Mayor Samuel Grantson.
Jesus. Okay.
I dropped my keys to
Fair.
say about that background.
Anyway,
so,
yeah.
so it's different strokes for different folks, Lewis. So I'm there. I'm like, I really need to pee. All the toilets are broken in this co-op, in this petrol station. So I'm just like, oh, where the fuck do I go? I remember there was a Costa around the back. So I went there, did my business, came back. Well, obviously washed my hands. I feel like you don't need to say that, but sometimes you do because fools be fools. So I came back, bought my snacks, and whilst I'm buying my snacks, that's when I saw Tyson. So he comes in, and obviously I'm just hovering around. Like, I don't need to leave all of a sudden. I can wait. I've got my stuff in my hand, and I'm going to take my sweet time to leave because I will say hi to Tyson Fury. So he comes in, and he basically just looks at the ground the whole time. Like, he makes eye contact with people, but it was almost like he didn't want to be seen. It was weird. It was the most uncomfortable feeling I've ever had around someone notable. And I don't usually get uncomfortable around people. Like, I don't. But it made me feel like, yeah, I shouldn't say hi. He's having a bad day. That's how it felt. So I was like, I'm just going to, like, give it a rest. But then he goes to the toilet, and then, like, me being me, I'm like, oh, it's broken. And literally, my only conversation with arguably one of my favorite boxers was, you should go to the Costa toilets instead. That's all I had to say. Now now Tyson Fury just knows me as the black guy from Co-op who said go to use the toilet in Costa. That's all.
He smells great.
He smells amazing. And I hope that's what he remembers about me, but it fucking wasn't. So anyway, he basically he looked at me and went, oh, all right, is it broken? I was like, yeah. And he went back to look at the floor. These women were basically like, oh, don't worry, Tyson. You can use our staff room toilets. Every man in there just turned around and looked at this bitch. Like, what the fuck? And she was like, yeah, but you're not Tyson. And we all just accepted our faith and walked out. I kid you not. That was basically what happened. We realized that we're not Tyson. We don't get to use the staff toilet like big boy Tyson.
So the white man was allowed to use the toilet, but the black man had to go.
Me and all the... No, I would happily be the first person to stand at that point. Me and all the white boys left together. We knew our place in society. We walked out.
I'm just saying.
We walked out.
I'm just trying to say it was a bit mad. You give it privilege.
I'm saying we learned very quickly that there is racism and there's classism, and classism is always going to be the winner in this fucking story. Money won. Money speaks way more volumes than skin.
Money talks, apparently. Money talks.
But yeah, I realized my rank. I went outside. I obviously was stood there enjoying my snack and waiting for him to come out so I can just wave. And he came out. I was like, oh, hi, Tyson. And that's the clip you saw in my story. And he waved back because obviously he remembers me. I told him to.
Did your voice just go, oh, hi,
Tyson? I smelt like I acted like the bad bee I smelt like. I acted like the bad girl Riri I was smelling like that day. But yeah, that was more or less the highlight of the weekend. Other than that, dude, I am so excited. Business-wise, Ollie is doing God's work on that website, on the Anxious Extra website. I know people can't see it because it's all in the developer platform he's working it on, but once it's ready...
Shout out the website.
It's hub.anxiousextrovert.co.uk, and I think maybe I need to shorten that website name a little bit because the whole subdomain thing's a bit long. So I've talked to him about it, and he was just like, once we build up the following, let's look at changing the name and maybe giving it its own domain and all that. But that's to come in the future. There is so much more we're working on. He's got this whole recommendation system that he's built into it. We've got this whole like feature section, all of it. It's just going to look so much sleeker. It's going to run so much faster. And I think there's great benefit in just taking the time to step away and not giving a shit about what people think about it now and just focusing on what it should be and making it a nice space for people to use. So that's what's happening. PhD-wise, and I can say PhD-wise because I'm officially a PhD student.
Yeah, it's not embellishment anymore.
It's not embellishment. It's not PhD light anymore. It's just PhD.
Yeah.
PhD-wise, I really think, I'm going to touch wood, I really think I can finish it this year.
That's fun.
I think I can hand it in this year. I'm currently doing my research analysis, and we'll talk about it a bit more as we get into like the main part of the episode today. But I can feel it, man. I can feel like the urge to avoid doing the work. I can feel the pressure around what happens when I'm done. Yep. What would the world expect of me once I'm Dr. Grantson? And I feel the pressure of like, June, like you get like
annual reviews when you're doing your PhD. But if I've done it right, because I'm submitting this year, I've only had one annual review and I only need one. But you get annual reviews and you basically get grilled during your annual review, which is basically, what the fuck have you been doing, blah, blah. It's like a Viva, but like 5 times the stress. And it kind of trains you mentally for like, it trained you mentally, so I fucking hated it. I took it like a champ because I'd be yelled at louder than that at work. Like, there are directors that talk to me like they gave birth to me yesterday, and I'm just sat there like, it's okay, Sam. They have to pay you. It's okay. But this guy was talking at me, and I was just like, breathe. You've had it worse. And I survived it.
Breathing.
But it's stressful because I know that the Viva is going to be like the main thing, and that's going to be next year. I've got to like really do this. I've got to basically rewrite my work, read it all through, make it a part of my being, understand it back and forth. And the Viva is going to be very stressful because there's a moment apparently afterwards where they say they say thank you, Mr. Grantson, or they'll say thank you, Dr. Grantson. If they say Mr.,
oh damn,
you've got to go back and do it all over again. Like, not the whole process, but you basically get multiple opportunities to rewrite your work, fix stuff, all that. Or you can accept an MPhil when I'm not a bitch. I'm not taking the demo version of the game. Like,
yeah,
I already have a master's. I don't need another master's. So,
I think that when you do another master's in 3 years' time.
No, I'm done, bro. I'm actually done. No more. All right. But yeah. I'm stressing so hard for that Dr. Grantson the first time round, and I know that not everyone gets it the first time round, but I need it. Like, I need it to feel like this was all worth it because I am so burnt out, dude. Like,
yeah,
I am so tired. But yeah, that's been my week. There's ups and downs, but Tyson Fury was definitely the highlight, and smelling like Bad Girl Riri was also part of it as well. Sarah has found out that Beyonce wears the same brand, and now she's looking at that bottle a type of way that I don't like because it's mine. She's looking at it like, but Beyonce wears it. And I'm just like,
Sam, I'm just
buy
saying,
your own.
You put a ring on the finger. You can't complain.
And a welded bracelet. She got what she needed. This is my time. She got what she needed. Let me have my moment.
Sam, it's never enough. Everything she has is hers, and everything you have is hers. It's all 50-50. It's all 50-50, bro.
The world we live in. But dude, tell me about you, because I've been going on for ages, man. What have you been up to?
It's been a difficult couple of weeks. There's been a lot of setbacks, and it hit a breaking point the other day. Was it yesterday when we called? When you just happened to call by chance, and I was just like, life is lifing a bit too hard. It's really weird because I texted my brother, and then like you called 10 minutes later, and it's like, yeah, you called it a good time, and it's like all like the books I was reading and stuff like that. It's just like I just went back to like square one in terms of like mental willpower. I was just at my wit's end, and it was a good conversation we had. Yeah, and you told me things I need to hear, so I appreciate you, man, and thank you for.
Good. I'm glad that helped.
So I feel a lot better today. So when it's like, I kind of looked back to when I was like in my first job and I was like feeling like shit, and like what was the path? It was like doing shit that I don't like doing, and it was running. And a few episodes ago, I said that I hate running without music. And so there's this thing, I don't know if you see this, called, bear me, raw dogging. And I know it's bad, but hear me out. Right, it's like it started off with like basically people go on flights and they just watch the map, and they don't have any food or water, they don't sleep, they just watch the map, and it's called raw dogging. And someone raw dogged like a 17-hour flight. And
why is this entertaining?
Just to like mentally, just like a mental willpower thing, but it's stupid, but it makes me laugh. But my flat showed me someone raw dogged a marathon.
How do you do that? Just no music?
No music, no phone, no gels, no water. They just went out, ran a marathon, and that was it. They had no water, no music, they had no nothing. Just keys, shoes, ran. So I was like, oh, I really don't like the idea of running up music. So I did a 5K, no phone, no music, Just
How do you leave the house without a phone and feel safe?
just my thoughts.
That's mad.
So, yeah, it was no music. And the first 15 minutes felt like an hour. It felt like an hour. It was so...
Yeah.
But it was good because I was able to kind of think about stuff as well. It got to like a therapeutic point, not like a runner's high. I don't really think I get that. But there was to a point where I was just running and I was just like in a reflective state. So it was good. And that was something which I've been avoiding like the plague because running without music sucks. So, yeah, man, it's been a... I wouldn't say it's been a sort of like mad sort of week. I'm in like the factory reset. I'm in an energy saving mode. So, and I'm finding the habits that I usually do, like the working out every day and like the journaling, and it's like the effort. I'm finding it a lot more difficult to do things that I'm usually doing. So I'm being kinder to myself. And I saw like this video, and it was like it was Pharrell Williams, and he was speaking to someone at like a Met Gala or something like that, and he was just like, it came at a good time as well because he was just like, just take note and take care of it. He was like, never get emotional because there's just no point because nothing actually, it doesn't matter. And it was just like, just take note. Like, obviously, you know, if your son graduates or family member dies, different. There's times to be emotional, but for other people who are giving you shit, or when shit goes bad, there's literally zero point. He says all it does is alter your decision making. And he was just like, take note of it and take care of it, and don't get emotional about it. So for the past day, I've been, when it's like notes where it's like, oh, this starts to piss me off. And then I kind of think like, again, it's like, this actually doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. I'm taking this personally. And he was just like, just don't take shit personally because nothing's actually personal. Just take note of it, take care of it. That's it. So I'm going to try and be more purposeful with my ways of thinking. And I'm really being quite mindful about it. Like everything I'm thinking about, the way that I talk about myself in my head, the negative talk, I'm really going to try and focus on stopping that as early as possible and pivot it into positive energy. Not even positive energy, but just energy that isn't negative, and put it towards something and divert it to something else. So that's what I'm going to try and do. Because when I have my setbacks, it's what I was saying like in the first episode in terms of like the fears and stuff. It's like when I'm in that negative headspace, it's a really shit hole to get out of. Mm-hmm. And the hole is very, very, it's like 6 foot away. So I'm trying not to go deep into that because otherwise it's going to be the point where like, oh, I can't be fucking asked to record the pod because like, what's the point? And I'm not saying I'm at that point, but it's close. And I'm stepping further away from it and getting back to normal. So it's been a difficult couple of weeks. I'm working on it. I'm getting back to normal. I'm going to continue working out and doing the good habits and stuff. It's just been a lot more difficult to be doing those things.
What's the biggest thing that's helped you, would you say, kind of get back to normality?
I've been... I think it's just going back to doing those things that I was doing before. Like it's when people feel like shit and they want to feel better or comfort themselves, then they eat shit. But actually eating healthier food makes you feel better, and getting to sleep makes you feel better, and drinking lots more water and going to sleep and trying not to overwork yourself to unfuck up a situation, that makes you feel better. So now that I've done that, I've obviously spoke to you, I'm just kind of like vocalizing that I'm actually going through a difficult period. Yeah, that's probably it as well. Because once you internalize all that shit, it's fucked. It's fucked. So, I'm remembering this for next time it happens, because it will happen. It's inevitable. And yeah, we move. It's making me more resilient. It adds to the story I have to tell. And that's where we are. So a bit more of a mental update. But still got freelance stuff to do. I still have editing stuff to do. There's still a lot to be grateful for. And that's the main thing. It's like you have to like gratitude your way out of a shitty situation. And it's very, very difficult because it's your brain, like I said, is very good at picking up bad shit when you're in a bad mood. So yeah, it's been a different couple of weeks, but yeah, I think we've hit a turning point, to the point where, like, with other opportunities I'm looking into at the moment, I'm very stoic about it. I'm not getting overexcited. I'm not like being like, oh, what's the point? I'm just like, if you're like, oh, how are you feeling about da 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 da? I'm like, whatever happens, isn't it? Like, it's just, I'll be fine. Like, because I've been fine for almost 28 years. I'll be fine. And that's kind of been my approach. So it's like that thing where, like, once you let go of everything, that's when everything comes to you. So I'm letting go of the faff and the bullshit. I have my health, I have my family, and everything else will be bonus. And that's what I'm trying to do. And I'm tempering my ambition.
Yeah.
And I know it's something that it's been a constant, like, thing for me to work on. And because I know it's like, once I get something, I'm always like, oh, what's next? And actually, it's then, once I then don't get something and I really want to focus on getting this, it's my ego taking a bruise. And you made this very apparent to me, so I'll give you credit for that. And I don't like the fact that it's my ego that's actually making me feel like shit. And now that I know it's that, I'm like, okay, this is to get it solved, because I don't like that. And again, it's like that ego fighting that other ego part of it.
Yeah.
So it's a weird sort of,
it's like being accountable for your own bullshit.
Yeah.
You're doing it to yourself, yeah.
Yeah. So
calm, bro.
I know it is me. Obviously, there's external factors that make me feel certain ways, but at the end of the day, it might be their fault, but it's my responsibility to deal with it. So I'm going to hold myself more responsible for how I'm feeling, because it is my responsibility, even though people are dicks, but I can't control people being dicks. So I'm going back to the drawing board. I'm going to reread some Stoicism books that I have, and not read them. I'm going to study them and apply.
Ooh,
and
interesting.
See
interesting
how
pivot.
Things go on.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What's our
That's where we are.
focus then? What's our focus this week?
So today, this is actually going quite nicely into what we're doing.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk a lot about comparison. For however long we talk about it for, because this is something which I used to do. I don't know if I still do it now. It's still something which we all do.
You can't help but do it.
You can't help but do it because you're literally wired to. But I'm a lot better at transforming the energy. So when I talk about comparison, listeners, it's comparing yourself to someone else's journey. Say Sam and I comparing ourselves to, Stephen Bartlett, Warren Buffett, and everyone else. I mean, social media is basically comparison. That's the whole selling point of it. Whereas for women and people on Love Island, as you mentioned, and your Grace Beverleys and your Stephen Bartletts, and
I don't think I've mentioned Love Island since we were recording. Actually,
you hadn't yet.
No, I haven't. Wake up, Lewis, man. Go get some coffee. What are you doing?
You hadn't.
Wake up.
I'm good.
Good.
But I think comparison is a very core part of my story so far, because mine wasn't very much focused on social media. Mine was very much close to heart, because obviously I've mentioned my brother a few times. He had his business blow up shortly after COVID when I was doing nothing other than my 9 to 6. And I found it really, really difficult to sort of like deal with, because everyone was like, he's doing really well and I'm doing
in a really tough time as well.
Not as well. And in a point where everyone's saying like, be kind to yourself, like it's fine. And my brother's turning up on Forbes and I'm like, no, I shouldn't be nice to myself. I should be out here doing shit and making meals. And it's like, no, I don't want to be kind to myself. I should feel shit. And so it was a very, very difficult thing, because it was like, I know my family weren't like, oh, Christian's doing so well. Lewis, it's okay. Like, I know my parents are like that. Like, my parents are like equally as happy with both of us and what we're doing. But I couldn't help but think, how could you? My logic, my pragmatic side of the brain is also my downfall, because I'm like, how could you possibly think that these two people are equating the same sort of like level of like proudness? Like, it wasn't. But the thing is, it wasn't about them doing what we're both doing. It's our character, and if we're happy. And to kind of skip further ahead, how I actually got more of a handle on it was I actually spoke to my brother directly, being like, because I didn't actually talk to him about it directly. And I was like, look, this has actually been affecting me more so than it should. And I feel like a way for me to actually move forward and start carving this piece of myself is actually talking to you directly, because I feel like that's like the best place to go to. And my brother told me his story of comparison as well, because his was very much like my peers and my colleagues and whatever are doing X, Y, Z. So it's something which he experienced as well. And it's also, you don't know everybody's backgrounds, like what the Forbes and the articles will say. Like, obviously I know my brother, I love my brother, he's like my best friend. And it's like, no, I know what he went through. It wasn't just like, oh, we're like success. And it wasn't super easy. It was actually really, really fucking hard. And I'm super proud of him for it. But it's also like, you would think these CEOs are all super, super happy. And they aren't. They aren't. It's really fucking difficult. And it's like, oh, damn. So once I realized, actually, it's not that I want to have that life, and it's not the jealousy of it. It was like, oh, right, no, it's actually, I don't want that for myself. Because when I actually thought, oh, do I want to would I swap places with this CEO or with my brother with this position? And the answer is no, I would fucking hate it. So then it actually was like, oh, what do I want then? And so once I actually start to focus on what I want, what will make me happy, that's when it was completely like carved out 99%. And then I could actually focus on what I'm doing. Because what I would do before is like, I would, like, you know, start the editing and stuff like that. And then, but in the back of my head, I'm still thinking like, I'm only doing this to look good. And like, it was completely decreasing my creativity, because I still had this mental block of like, I want to be seen as being successful and doing that, as opposed to what is it I actually enjoy and want to make, and also make like money from and things like that, and living my life. So that's a very like short summary of how comparison has played a key part in how we've got to here.
But for me, I hear so it's different for me, because I don't have. What's the age gap between you and Christian? It's like quite
4 years.
close to, isn't it? 4 years. So
yeah,
the age gap between me and my siblings is decades. Like 20, 30 years. Actually, I think the closest, I mean, I have like, I have some siblings that are a lot closer, but we don't talk. African dads be African dadding. But my siblings that I've grown up with mainly, I'd say I think the closest age gap is probably like 30 years between me and them. So like my siblings to me are almost like
my mum and dad's mates, that kind of age.
Yeah.
Like they're older than me. So I don't have that. I haven't grown up with comparisons. Rather, I grew up as my mum's only child. So I grew up being told I was pretty much special on those days, right? Being told, oh, you're like, because I'm her pride and joy. I'm what she shows off to her friends. Like, look at my shiny thing. You've got kids. Here's my kid. I didn't really have, so I grew up with more of like, oh, the world is what it is. It's fun. And I got to a certain age where I got compared with my cousins a lot more because siblings, my mom has her siblings who she's got rivalries with. So rather than having like, I'd say it might have been better if I had my own siblings around my age, because then parents would do comparisons against each other, but then there's still a layer of like, but we love you equally, but don't screw up like him, or those, you know what I mean? But like, it was cousins versus cousins, so it's almost like there wasn't an excuse, there wasn't a, oh, we love you equally. It's no, I love you more than your cousins, be better than them, stop shaming me in this family, that kind of thing. It was like, do better. And that there was a certain age where it's almost like you become responsible for your own intelligence and your own capabilities. And it's still a relatively young age. Like I'm talking like 5, 6, but you become like responsible for messing up or not in the like competition of intelligence among your cousins. And in many ways, it's helped me and my cousins a lot. Because I say it's helped us a lot. All my cousins, I'd say, have like a gift of some kind, whether it's they've got ridiculous social skills, they're very streetwise. They all have like some weird like if you look at an IQ test, every cousin is shining really well on one category of that test, because we've all like worked out our own quirks within like how do I stand out in this family because the siblings be making us compete and all these things. And I do have one cousin called Hetty, one of my favorites. I mean, Henry, her brother as well, is one of my favorite cousins as well. But Hetty now lives in France. She's already got her PhD, and she inspired me to do the PhD. And I've always grown up being compared to those two, so like Henry and Hetty, of like, be like them, like Junior's doing this, sister's doing this, sister's Hetty, she's doing this, like she's going to uni, all these things. So I remember I don't really have like, because our family dynamic is we grew up together, but once I came to the UK and once they stayed in Ghana and Hetty moved to France, like we're not regularly calling in, we don't check in with each other as cousins and all these things. We don't do that. There was one day where I just kind of gave in. I just called her, and that was around the time where I'd failed uni and I'd actually gotten to the masters, and I'd realized that I was talking to Luke, and Luke was basically like, "Are you sure you want to go back to uni? Because we can make money together." And I was kind of like, no, I have to do uni, like based on the whole, like my mom's saying, go get uni, like go make up for your losses from that undergrad, do all these things. So I'm like, fine, I'm going to go back. And it has benefited me. But I called Hetty after I applied for that, and she was very honest with me, because she's like about 4 years older than me as well, 4, 5, I actually don't know how old she is, but I know she's like around Christian and you age gap probably. And she basically had a frank conversation with me of, what do you want to do? And I was like, I actually don't know, because for my whole life, I feel like I've said what I wanted to do to please people. I've tried to come up with cool ideas of what I want to do, and I've looked up for a smile or a quirk because I wanted to be like seen as a smart person in a room compared to everyone else. So then, she asked, what do you actually want to do? And I was like, I'm not really clear. Like, all I know is I want to run my own business one day. I want to be in charge of my own destiny is essentially what I wanted. I want to be in a space where I'm the one who judges what the two factors to be compared are, if you get what I mean. I want to be in control of my life and be the one to pick what I get compared against, rather than someone else doing it for me. But then she was basically like, then do it then. Then do the masters. If that's your reason for do it. It was basically along the lines of, don't do it because your mom wants you to do it. Don't do it because it will look cool to the family. Do it because you found a reason that you want to do it. And I went ahead and did it. And interestingly enough, as soon as I applied for the PhD and got it, I let her know that as well. And I know, like, obviously my mom still does, like, if amongst the cousins, it's just me and her. That, like, she's finished her PhD, she's doctor now. But it's like me and her are the only ones that have gone on like a PhD journey in the cousins. So now it's almost like we're the top ranking cousins. Like we're smashing it. Like I've got a BMW, she's got a husband, kid, she's got a PhD, all this stuff. Like we're smashing it. And my mom, I could definitely see the pride on my mom's face in terms of like, she feels like, yep, it's worked. But a part of me in that journey is, a part of me even till now, I always wonder,
have I ever had some kind of freedom of choice, or has it always been because I've tried to be better than someone else? I've compared myself against others, and I think in general that plays into that whole like, at what point of your life have you inspired yourself to do something, or have most of our decisions been inspired by comparing ourselves to someone else?
You know what? It's very interesting you say that, because what I have also thought about is, if I didn't have my, because obviously like my family was never like a, oh, well, he's doing this and you're doing, it's never been like that. It was always kind of like in here. But I know for me, like, for example, with uni, my brother got a first and we both did business. If I didn't get a first and my brother did, I honestly, I said to my parents, like, I would have chopped off my left arm if it meant I got a first. Like, there was no way I was leaving uni without getting a first, because I know my brother had done it. Therefore, to me, it shows that it's possible and it can be done, because we have the same makeup. And me and my brother are very, very similar. And I was like, this has to be done. And my dad said to me, after I got my first, or I think my mum said to me, he was like, yeah, when your dad dropped you off and moved you into your family house, he knew instantly that you were getting a first. And he was like, why? He was like, I just knew you were just so driven and focused that I knew that you would sacrifice everything to get it. And it's true. And I was willing to sacrifice anything to do it. And luckily, I got it. And I know that my parents were super, super, super proud. Not just because I got a first, but both their sons had got a first. And it makes me happy that I was able to give my parents that. Like, because they would never like speak. They don't like speak to their friends and be like, oh, by the way, Lewis has done this and stuff like that. They if their friends ask, they will say. And for like a good month, they were like, yeah, both our sons got first. Like, this is actually pretty sick. And you know, I was glad I was able to make the immediate family like proud about that. But I know that if my brother got a 2-1, I probably would have got a 2-1. And because
you'd have capped yourself at that because you felt like that was all you had to work towards.
As in, I know that I honestly think that if I didn't have my family in particular, particularly my brother, because he was ahead of me, like, do as well, I feel like a piece of me deep down is like, would I have done as well? Because I know where I could go. Like, because my brother left uni and he got a first and went to Google. Like, that all happened within a month. So for me, I was like, oh, right, okay, that's the example. And that's like it's not so much, it's comparison, but also it's inspiration that this is what is possible if you apply yourself. So it's weird because obviously I've always had my brother a few years ahead of me, enough so where I can make an impact. And obviously now, like, we've both graduated and done whatever, it's now me, because we're outside the education system. But I know a few years ago, if, say, my brother had, you know, just had a regular 9 to 6 or whatever, I know for me back then, I probably would have felt a lot less pressure that I had put on myself, and probably would have felt happier with where I am. And that's the part that I knew was fucked up and needed to be solved, because I was basically focused on like, oh, well, I'm here and he's here and this is so wrong. But I was comparing his literal chapter 4 years ahead to where I was, and it was really, really fucking stupid. And that's what I needed to rewire. Because now, my brother, he could end up being a fucking billionaire, right?
And that's would be.
And that's great. But at the same time, I still want to edit videos, have a pretty chilled life, chill with, you know, in my family home with a couple of dogs and be chilling. Because that, to me, what makes me happy. And it's taken me a lot of inner dissection to actually figure out, Lewis, you don't actually want to have like 1,000 employee company and dealing with all this shit. I don't want it. And I know that for a fact because that's just too much stress for me. I want a very low stressful life. I want to be quietly wealthy. That is enough for me. And that's where and I think once you understand what makes you happy and where do you want to go, you get tunnel vision and you don't need to focus on what other people are doing.
I have two things I want to like touch on, but I want to do it in the right order so it flows smoother. The first one is, I know you've touched on like making your family proud and everything. What was the value, or better question, why did you compare yourself to your brother? I think there's a lot to explore on why people compare themselves to each other.
I think it's very natural to compare. I think I don't know if it's a whole wiring thing, but also I think throughout education as well. I think genuinely the education system in particular really fosters comparing yourself
built on comparison.
To
your
is
grades
built
on
comparison because it's like you get these grades, you're in set 1, and if you don't go to Russell Group, you're going to be a fucking failure. Like that was very much what my school was like.
Yeah,
and because I think because my brother has set an example of like what could be done, and particularly throughout school, I was better in school. I got higher grades in school, and I was like, oh well, he's done it. I can 100% do it, and that's basically where it kind of started. I think, but I think just because like we're both very similar as well, I think it's easier to compare. Like internally, just because our personalities are quite similar. But I don't know, man. It's probably something for a fucking therapist to talk to me about.
I think so.
To be honest,
Sam, the therapist coming in here. I'm joking. I do not have a license to practice. I should probably do a therapy course though. I do have a theory as to why people do it, and that theory, weirdly enough, is based on my cats. So I've got the boy and girl cat, Mitzi and Milo, and traditionally, or normally, this is what I've been told and what I've actually seen in the two of them, the girl cats are smarter earlier on. Like there's certain skills and certain like things that they pick up on a lot quicker than the boy cat does. So I was very fortunate to have both of them, obviously at the same. We are very fortunate they're not dead. We are very fortunate to have both of them at the same time. And I really wanted to teach them tricks. I learned that Mitzi, the girl, learned tricks a lot quicker than Milo did. So what I would do is put them in the same room as each other and focus on teaching Mitzi the trick, knowing that Milo was watching. And then I would feed Mitzi every time. And then I would do an attempt with Milo, and he would cock it up. Like he would literally be like, okay, give me the treat. And I'd be like, no, like she did it, this and that to get the treat. You got it. And then if he didn't do it, I'd be like, fine, I'll go back to her, do it again. And eventually I was able to teach Milo how to sit, because I taught Mitzi how to sit in front of him. Eventually I was able to teach them like to come over to me when I called their names, because I taught Mitzi and he watched it happen. Eventually I told them like, I can tell them to like, I could point at a spot, I could put my finger on a spot, say one of their names, they'll come to that spot I'm pointing out with my finger. And I did it with Mitzi first, I did it with Milo. And one thing I learned was people, and I see in people as well, because admittedly, like we talked about in the team building episode, well, we touched on team building episode, but in terms of like from a leadership perspective, how do you get people to do what you want? And sometimes you can get stubborn people to do what you want by getting the more malleable people, by rewarding them in front of the person who's like less willing to align with what you want the team to achieve. So it's essentially, it's like the teacher's pet, right? Mitzi became the teacher's pet. I think we compare ourselves to each other because we see the rewards another person gets. And admittedly, the core base of it is partially greed and envy. It's almost like, I want that experience. I want that fun reward that you have. And I want to achieve that, whether it's your parents being proud of you, whether it's the riches, whether it's a cushy life and all that. I think it is that journey of, I want that experience that you have, and how do I achieve it? Sometimes it's more stressful when you do that, because generally you believe that I'm better than this person, like I'm smarter than you, I'm stronger than you, and all these things. Why am I not experiencing that? So it's almost like the comparison journey becomes stressful then, because you don't even know how you can achieve that now, because you believe that you've got all the skills you need to be better than that person. So now it's like, what the fuck else do I need to do to get there? And then you're just pissed every day. Or you're in a position where you know that there's certain skills you need to develop, And that's a lot better because then you're not comparing out of like an aggressive envy.
Yeah.
You actually have a clear insight into what you need to do to get that journey, that success. And one thing that I've learned in my life is if I'm comparing myself to someone who's achieved more than me, I need to accept that there's something I'm not doing right that they are doing right. Yeah, I need to accept that there's something, I need to be in that position where I'm needed to learn rather than assuming that I'm better than them. So now I'm pissed off that why am I not getting there? And I think that links onto the journey of comparisons, because we both talked about comparisons and how comparisons has basically led us into who we are now in terms of we've gone down a journey, we realized that that's not what we wanted, and we've got there. And I've not touched as much on mine. So Luke would be, I talked about my cousins, but Luke would be my comparison journey. Like me and Luke we practically grown up together, but we've gone in completely different journeys. He went into working for himself, tried different jobs. I went straight into uni. I took the educational path. Luke took the self-made path. Luke's a fully fledged millionaire now, and I'm now grinding myself to my first mill, right? And there definitely were points where I had my degree, and I was looking back and being like, what the fuck? Like, how have I got a degree, all of this, like the coding skills, and he is literally just putting up TikToks and making bank. Like, what the fuck is going on here? And I remember, like, I'm just looking, and I was just like, what the fuck, bro? That's your brother. Like, why are you looking at it like that? Do not look at it like that. And so I literally sat down with Luke, and like, that's when I was honest with him. I was just like, I'm pissed off with myself because there was a time where you knocked on my door and you said, let's go into business together. And I said no, because I thought my journey would get me to like a better position. And now I'm comparing myself to you and I'm realizing I fucked up. And he's had the most honest conversation with me and been like, bro, you've got everything that I want and I can't have because I have to work towards it. And he's basically telling about, you're engaged, you've got cats, you've got a house, you've got a comfortable job, you're basically settled down. It's like, I've now got to find all those experiences for myself. I want that. And maybe he was saying it because I know it's out of pity. I don't know. But it gave me comfort in knowing that whilst I'm comparing myself to him and wanting to like learn how to become basically successful like him, he's seen a different level of success in my journey that he's also comparing himself to that he wants. And we both didn't really realize that until we had that open conversation with each other. Like, oh, we literally both look up to each other right now. Like, what the fuck? Yeah. But having that regular conversation, and I think that really has helped shape my mindset around how I compare myself to others.
Yeah, and you have stuff to be grateful for, and then you're like, oh right, exactly. Damn. And it's
like there's value in that journey. So
absolutely, and it's like it's quite interesting now because with me and my brother, we're still obviously we're super super close, and I'm now at a point where again it's like I'm in the happiest relationship, and you know my brother, he's doing well business wise, but you know he still has his relationship dramas, and it's now, even though I'm 4 years younger than him, I will chat to him like I'm the older brother about relationships. And it's weird because he's looking for that person when I've now found that person, and it's weird that he's like looking for that. And this is what I said, like when I went for dinner with my family, my brother and Rosie, and it's like, it's different levels of how people define their success around the table. And I was like, you know, there's some things that money can't buy. And, you know, my brother's journey to finding that person for him is not complete yet. He's still very much in an early stage, which is fine. And, you know, he has a lot going for him. But the thing is, because he's accumulated his wealth now, and people know that, it's harder for him to kind of filter who is actually there for him, I would say. And fortunately, you know, that's the benefits of, you know, not having commas yet, because people have to like you for you. I don't have to worry about people liking me for my money because there is none. If you want me, it's just nothing but air. You know what I mean?
The benefits of being broke.
Yeah, exactly. You know, if I'm broke, you have to like me for me. There's nothing else. I got nothing. We have 14 listeners. This podcast is costing us money.
Oh yeah, like and subscribe, please.
Yeah, like and subscribe,
guys,
please.
Come on.
But do you know what I mean? And it's like, it's weird
so
that
true.
we both have different measurements of success. And for me, it's like, you know, I think me and my brother have other sides of the coin. He's very much sorted himself out financially. and you know, he's absolutely fine. Whereas for me, it's like I've got, you know, very comfortable job, but you know, the love life of my side of my life is absolutely sorted, and we're both trying to fill the other gap. So it's a yin and yang. But I think, yeah, with comparison, it's just like be grateful for what you have, because there's going to be people who are looking at our journey and wishing that, how do we get there as well? So
do you still compare yourself to others?
Probably. I mean, we all do.
I don't anymore. More recently, I don't find any benefit in doing that. I'm fully embracing the stoic mindset. Maybe it's because I'm like really tired and relaxed right now, so it's easy for me to like get into my zone, deep voice mode, and just chill.
Yeah.
But I don't really care about where others are going with their life unless you're a close friend of mine. And if even that, my reason for caring isn't because, oh, I want to be you, bro. It's I want you to be happy, and I want to like it's almost like all the time and effort I put into like being a people pleaser, taking that away. That urge is still there to make people happy and to like play a part in someone's joy. But I'm kind of like doubling down on how I apply that urge to people closer to me. So it's almost like I've still got like 100% battery power, and rather than giving the people close to me 5%, I'm able to give each individual 10-15% now. And I find joy in doing that. In terms of my own personal successes, because I'm not distracting myself with, what's this person up to and how can I catch up? What's that person up to and how can I catch up? Which is, I guess, more jealousy than it is like a healthy comparison. I'm kind of looking at it as in, compared to this time last month, what have I achieved? What do I need to achieve? And it's not comparing myself to others, it's comparing myself to myself with check-ins of what do I need to do to get to where I need to next week. And it's almost like setting a to-do list that I review on a regular basis. And I'm really enjoying that more because I'm in control of my own life and my own destiny. It feels like whatever happens is down to me now. And if I want to make bags, it's down to how well I plan towards it and how much effort I put into my next steps. And the core part of all of that is the value in my actions and my behavior towards that goal of being successful. At first, I used to think if everyone loved me, I would be as rich as Luke or richer than Luke, right? I thought if I got everyone to love me, I'd have all the resources I need. And I've come to find that, no, not really. The world doesn't work like that. And then I was like, no, fuck it. I'll be the one guy to prove everyone wrong. And you know what? When I get there, everyone will think I'm even more special because I was a nice guy and I got there. I became rich whilst being a nice guy. And I looked at it and I was like, does it really matter? Like, would I do it comfortably? Will I do it happily? And when I get there, will I be able to maintain that? Probably not. Like, it's not every day that I feel like being super nice to people. It's not every day that I feel like I need to bless the world with my presence. Some days I just need to do me and get the job done. And now I've embraced that. I'm just like, most days I just need to be me and get the job done. And my urge to people please, I can just put it to people closer to me and actually know for a fact that I will get something out of that relationship because those people have proven to care about me as much as I care about them. But it's like before, I was just doing dumb stuff to try and get the little wins, and then telling myself like, yeah, this will get you there. This will make you lots of money. Like you're making really good contacts. And I was like, you're not making good contacts. Just hella people know my name. That's it.
Yeah.
Like I'm not networking efficiently. I'm just telling people who I am, and they're looking at me and going, oh, okay, cool. And then keeping the step in. I'm not getting back what I want. I'm lying to myself essentially. So, and I think what I was trying to say is comparisons has played a part in that journey because it played a part in the journey of shaping what characters I don't want and what character I do want. What do I want to be? What kind of person do I want to be in the future? It's helped shape that. Lewis, you, all my friends have helped to shape that in terms of me comparing myself to you, your journey. Because when we were in uni and you were with your ex at the time, your girlfriend at the time, but now you're your ex, and my relationship sucked, and yours was better than mine at the time. And I remember like I'd look at yours and just be like, must be nice in being like such a mature uni relationship. And like obviously deep down I found out it ain't all pretty, but ain't all nice over there. But still, I used to look at it and kind of be like, oh, he's happy. Like why do I have to argue with my person every day they're happy, that kind of thing. And now, like, I can enjoy time with Sarah, knowing that I don't really care what other couples are up to.
Yeah,
I just care about what we're up to and what we're doing.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
I care about, okay, you're clearly having a bad day today. Usually I'd get upset if Sarah like was started being annoying. So I'm just like, in my head, I feel like she's annoyed and now she's gonna bitch to girls about me. Now the girls think I'm like, I don't really give a crap what her girls think. I'm just like, right, you're upset. Let me give you space. Like, you do you, vent how you want.
Yeah.
And because I don't care about what the world thinks of me anymore, I don't care about the need to compare myself to others so the world thinks I'm special. I only care about doing me, so I think I'm good and I'm healthy. I'm fine. And I think my value driver for comparison, which is the long way around trying to get to, my value driver for comparison was the value, the perceived value that others placed on me. But at the end of the day, it was something that made me feel significant and powerful in a certain setting. But now I know that I can give myself that feeling by just believing I'm significant and powerful, and by validating it to myself through my own actions that I get to see.
Yeah,
I don't really care as much anymore. I think comparison is an important journey for everyone. Comparing yourself to others helps you keep in check. It helps create the core foundation of what you should and shouldn't do to get to where you need to. It helps you understand where others have failed and areas that you can avoid. I think it gets dangerous when you become dependent on always having some kind of benchmark for your success, because then this is something I always tell people who look at me and go, oh, I want to be like you. I'm just like, if you want to be like me, you'll never be like me, because you'll always be waiting for my next move so you can follow it.
That's true, man. That's a bar.
Like, you'll always be second. If you want to be successful, run your own race, follow your own journey. That's literally it. And I think that's the dangerous part about comparisons, when you become reliant on like waiting for someone else to make a move so you can follow it and all that. You'll never get to that position. You never get to where that person is or past where that person is. You need to get to a point where, yes, you build up the core skill sets of like grit, determination, or whatever it is you need to do. And then at some point, you need to be comparing yourself to yourself and doing check-ins with you. So then you can run your own race and get to where you need to. And it's much more fulfilling. And it's almost like you become a dominant person in your own right. And it's so much better. And I feel like through that, a lot of my anxiety is dipped. A lot. Like, when I present now, I don't have the whole like, oh, weird feeling, let me just go over this anxious bit. I don't give a crap, because I know that what I'm going to do, I need to do it for the job. I need to get complete. Simple as that.
Absolutely, man. But now, man, I know we've gone over an hour, and I know you've got stuff to do. So, no, this has been a good topic, man, and I've definitely enjoyed it. I think we've dived deeper than I thought that we were going to, and
yeah,
I think it's good. It's been juicy.
It's good,
but
it
yeah,
has been good, yeah.
I think we'll wrap up. So, guys, if you've enjoyed this episode, please share with your friends, give it 5 stars, give it a follow, because we're doing this shit for free. And hop on over to Instagram.
Doing this shit for you.
Yeah, for you, actually.
For you, actually.
We're earning zero, negative £. So yeah, hop on over to the YouTube, Podcast Evolve, TikTok, Podcast Evolve. If you want to send us any emails, podcastevolve@gmail.com. Sam, anything else?
Have you said the website?
www.thepodcastevolve.com.
Let's go.
Gang, see you guys next week. Take care and peace.
Bye.